your coach has also got his availability tomorrow at 5, so unless he says differently.
Yes, sir.
In the past, you said Royce Freeman has run kind of timidly. That's the thing that you've asked him to do differently. What do you think about him tonight? How would you describe that?
Better. You know, you saw some of his elusiveness that was kind of legendary there in fall camp, as far as he's a guy that can run through guys and a guy that can make people miss a little bit better than you think, almost. And he's starting to play free, you know, of thought and just letting his natural gifts take over. And up front, we're better. That's a really good defense, a really good team, and so, you know, we didn't probably have as many yards per carry as maybe we would have liked, but just what we were talking about with Georgie, it proved to help in the end.
Keeping the neighborhood over there.
Yeah, other than Royce, I mean, if you look at a lot of the other players, they just had outstanding games as playmakers. You know, Farrow and Byron, and then the two receivers, all of them made really nice plays. Was it just one of those nights, or was it, you know, getting the right perfect pass and getting it at the perfect spot with the ball, or?
Combination of factors. You know, when you can run the ball, you can do anything, or at least you have the appearance of being able to run the ball. And the matchups, I thought the offensive staff did a great job of creating matchups, creating seams with the run game, and that poked open some big plays. But then also we had some guys make some plays on the ball, like you said, that, you know, Dwayne did some great things, Darren did some great things, and they'll do nothing but get better because they're still, you know, Darren particularly still playing with a little bit, you know, kind of the hesitancy of some of the young guys, but is starting to get over the hump and encouraged by that.
We're going to work right down the road to Horowitz.
Yeah, Mark.
You didn't sit in the second row, you can't ask a question.
You talked a little bit about it, but could you expand maybe a little bit on the 99-yard drive? I mean, is that the kind of drive that just takes so much out of the defense?
It's big. You know, that was certainly something when that happened. It's kind of like the weather, you know, it's perfect. It's great. You know, 99-yard drives are fun to be on the driving end of, and our guys took that challenge. We grounded out there early with Royce and a couple guys making some key blocks, and ended up, you know, scoring a touchdown.
Tyson, middle.
Can you expand a little bit on Darren growing up over the last couple of weeks? It seems like he's kind of been maybe. His role seemed like it was kind of phased out a little bit since like the first week, and I don't think he touched the ball last week against UCLA, and obviously he had a great game today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody's phased out. You know, nobody's phased out. If they're off the team, they're phased out. But you know, guys in our system, again, that's one of the things in our system, like I was talking about with Georgie, is you know, we went through phases where it was kind of frustrating when, not you, but we'll use you as an example, would ask, you know, whatever, David Paulson had 200 yards receiving, and Michael James had 300 yards rushing, and Kenyon Barner had 300 yards, but what's wrong with Jeff Mayo? Why didn't Jeff Mayo have 3? You know, and there's one ball to go around, and our guys are starting to get that. And particularly for a young player, and I'm not singling out Darren, that's not really easy to understand, because in high school you just split out there and you threw it to him. What are we doing, coach? You know, and so that part of it is an ongoing deal for every young guy, and he's growing into the system, playing with more confidence. Coach Lubick's done a great job with that whole group of very, very, very young players.
In the back, Tom.
Mark back here. Wanted to ask you about seeing Rich Brooks on the field in that 89 team. You know, a lot of people believe that late 80s is where it kind of all started. And did you have much interaction with them? And did your team get to interact with them? And what does all that mean to you?
That's the foundation. You know, it means everything. That whole phase, you know, of Rich Brooks and those teams, Bill Byrne, Dan Williams, all the foresight of the leadership that you know, took us into a new phase. That was huge, and those guys laid the foundation for all this to be this, and we'll never forget that. And I thought it was great. The honoring the 20th anniversary and all that is a, you know, kind of a tipping point for the program, maybe, or, you know, whatever the right phrase is, and we know that, and we honor that all the time.
Behind the pole, AJ.
Coach, obviously,
perfect
behind the
location.
pillar here.
Coach Frost is going to be in the back.
Obviously, you were able to establish the run today. Talk a little about the play of the offensive line and your early evaluation of those guys.
Well, against that front, to have that many yards, they had to do something right, and part of that, Coach Frost did a great job with the game plan and mixing things up, both run and pass, because you have to keep those guys on their toes. That front seven is outstanding. Their secondary is really good, and so trying to, again, be good on first down is key. Sometimes that's throwing it, sometimes that's running it, and to be ahead that way, it just gives you options. The offensive line is playing better, playing with a little chip on their shoulder and preparing that way as well, which is key.
In the middle, Steve. Mark.
Last 2 weeks, just kind of talk about the defense, what you've seen in terms of kind of kept two pretty good offenses really down, at least until your offense had kind of gotten enough points to kind of put the game out of reach.
Yeah, they're playing with, I think, more understanding, more belief. They're it's kind of like running as a hesitant tailback. You might get 2 yards instead of 5, but if you're a hesitant DB, that might be a touchdown versus a tackle for loss, or a touchdown versus a 6-yard gain. And all those guys understanding their role, totally playing fast, identifying things, and Coach Pelham and the defensive staff have they've all made great strides. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. And again, we'll go back to work on that tomorrow.
Third row, right side, Joseph.
Coach, Farrell Brown's had two, pretty big games in a row. He's also had 2 15-yard penalties, in as many games. What did you say to him after tonight's unsportsmanlike conduct? And,
Coached it, just like in UCLA. I thought that was, let's say we discussed that in a different way than we did tonight's call, without getting in trouble. And he's grown up. That kid is a talented guy, phenomenally talented player. And when he gets it all together, it's really good. And, do we want a 15-yard penalty? Absolutely not. But we like the 60-yard play or whatever it was before that. And we'll coach both ends of it.
Back right.
Going back to the defense specifically, how would you evaluate the play of your safeties tonight?
Well, again, I think as a group, everybody played better, and just by virtue of the outcome and how things, they made them work for it. Without watching the film, I can't single that out. So you can ask me tomorrow night, and I'll have a better answer.
Right side.
Coach, Marcus again played well, but tonight it seemed you had that balance. Was it nice to see that you didn't have to kind of depend on him, to bail you out on some plays?
Absolutely, would be my first answer. I was trying to see what he finished, and so 24 of 33, 336 and 2 is okay. Right, that's all right, and that's kind of that's where he is, right? That's his expectation level, and that guy, again, did a great job of getting us in the right play a couple times. Made some unbelievable plays again with his feet. That for most people is 2nd and 26. It's 2nd and 10. And that is a victory in itself sometimes. But he is. We're all lucky to be able to watch that guy play every Saturday or Friday.
Jay.
2 quick ones. Did Rich Brooks address? Did Rich Brooks address the team at all?
He didn't this week, but he has in the past. I love Coach Brooks to death.
Okay. And then back to the penalty on Farrow. Would you like to see some of the celebration rules relaxed a little bit at the college level?
No comment. And I mean, it's no.
Like according to the rule, but would you like to see the rule?
Well, they sometimes call them according to the rule, and we've had that discussion as well. The gray area in that is really gray, and this is a team sport. That's the biggest thing that we hammer home. One guy didn't make a play, he shouldn't spike the ball. Flip it to the official and go celebrate with the guys. Jake Fisher got taken out by Darren Carrington as they were both sprinting down there to create a block. Go celebrate with those guys, and that's how we'll address it.
Right over here in the front.
2 weeks, Elias had 2 sacks 2 weeks in a row. What have you seen out of his development recently? Is it normal for JC guys to be about halfway through the season to start making an impact he's doing?
Well, hopefully you can push those guys to make an impact sooner, and I think part of it is the guys in front of him were playing pretty well, but his role will expand. His effort has always been good. He's been a great worker that way, and it's neat to see that rewarded on the field.
We're going to go last question. Again, coach is available tomorrow at 5. So right here, Jake.
Coach, the run defense has really stiffened up the last couple of weeks. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it's always a combination of factors. It's the type of offense you may see. It's them playing better. more soundly, running to the ball better, tackling better, and all things that we can still improve upon. And so it's a total group deal.
We're good. Thanks, John.
Thank you.